¿Qué pasa, YouTube? Kerubin here today with some Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia global content today. Today we're going to go ahead and look into the Aranea EX Plus, and additional ability video. I'm a little late to this, obviously. I meant to do this when it came out yesterday, but I was honestly just really busy, and I ended up spending a lot of time with my fiance. Since we wanted to do something for Valentine's Day, but we couldn't do it on the day of, due to work and things of that nature. So here I am making a late reaction and analysis over the Aranea video. We're gonna go ahead and look into this, and obviously first off, I'm gonna go ahead and react to it, and from there we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go from there and essentially break it down, and then I will let you guys know what I think of her overall based on her original kit, on her 1535 kit with the Brave HP attacks, and then her EX Plus, and her C65. Obviously, I'll let you know whether to pull for her as well, things of that nature. Ooh. Ooh. Upset? I've heard the community talk about this, but EX and skill 2 are kind of the same animation? Ooh, okay. That's not bad at all. Setting the overclock? So it's pretty much Garland C65. I'm sorry, what? Okay. Okay. Alright, the EX Plus. Ooh. I was actually right on some of this stuff. Ooh, nice. Five hit. Oh. Before it was 3, now it's 5. I thought we were gonna make it 4. 150% overflow before the overclock, so that's 180%. Not bad. Okay, so why don't you launch? Okay. Not bad, I actually like it. 100% AoE also, I just noticed. Alright. Let's go ahead and look at this video. Air superiority. 3 turns high speed maneuver, 8 hit AoE brave the group to AoE HP attack, critical damage plus 50%, and 100% AoE HP damage to each enemy. That's good. And when inflicting break, grants overclock. Okay, so your bread and butter is basically high wind and air superiority when you want to get your overclock, aside from what I saw, the C65. High speed maneuvers, critical damage plus 50%. Grants consecutive break return with no turn count when break. Oh. So she's basically a lightning jacked Leo Vane rolled up into one. Okay. It doesn't say this once per turn either. So can you technically just infinite loop this? That's actually scary. Set overclock. 4 turns overclock, attack 10%. One use without bloom. Okay. I like how they give you the overclock for 4 turns with this, because that just makes it so if you really want to, you can get immediate access with her immediate access with her with immediate access to her plus variants of her skills and a high boost lance and boost lance, which is always great. Effectively her HP plus, and from what I saw in the trailer, effective HP plus plus. Now here's my problem with that C65. Garland has the same exact thing, and it grants him Brave. Granted, his Soul of Discord is only for 2 turns, and it has a very strong effect attached to it, which, I can kind of understand why. At the very least, I feel like they should have added maybe a brave battery to it, attached to her max brave or her attack stat. That's how I feel about it. Even though she gets brave regen from her Magitech armament. And this I kind of have a problem with, because Air Superiority, by the name of it alone, honestly gave me the impression that she was going to do a launch sequence. But I guess this is kind of okay also. Granted, it's 100% AoE to the enemies, plus 50% for critical damage. Same with high-speed maneuver, so you're basically getting like 100% critical damage, I believe. And then Vital Crush essentially makes it so you deal weakness damage with critical, which is very strong. And from what I see here, with high speed maneuver is that it gives her a lightning-esque break mechanic, and this makes it so, the way I'm looking at it, you can basically loop it infinitely, or in this case, if it's not an infinite break loop, you can essentially do air superiority, break a target, get your free turn from that, Dragoon Dive Plus, which delays the target by 2 turns, High Wind, which allows you to go ahead and re-break the target, get another free turn, then you Dragoon Dive again, which at that point allows you to go ahead and delay target again by 2 turns. Air Superiority at that point, assuming it should, because it's a normal recast, potentially slightly fast. That's where I'm assuming it's gonna be, or it might be a straight normal recast. Which if it's normal recast, High Wind, Dragoon Dive, High Wind, Dragoon Dive would get you the 3 skills to unlock the air superiority, and this is from base. So maybe after the initial cast, the recast gauge would essentially be 2 skills, which would make this much faster. I feel like Aranea from this kit could potentially solo or duo an FEOD stage. Little to no problem at all. I have no doubts about it. Pair her with a decent battery or wall in FEOD 4, and ooh, that's actually scary. Or just pair her with somebody like a Brave Batteries like Rosa or Lena for that as well. Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, I'm kind of nutting at this. Okay, I'm already nutting at this. Very strong, very strong. I like it. This is just the base. Now we get to look at the. Now we get to look at the EX plus effects. So upon EX plusing this, it becomes 120% overflow and moderate brave damage up. Okay, fair. Limit break 1. I kind of called this max brave and attack plus 60% yesterday. Or was it Thursday, I believe. Because the way I was looking at this was if she's gonna be coming out during the LD era, mid Lufania, like probably like mid Lufania era, mid C80 era, late C80 era, um, she needs to have a potency boost like a stat boost like that, so she'd be able to contend with those from JP. I was thankfully right on this, and this is actually very strong. Even during mid to late chaos. Um, Yikes. Uh, at 2 out of 3, she gets 6 turns magic armament and 3 turns of high speed maneuver. So you can easily just start with high wind, break a target immediately, and get yourself the 4 turns of overclock. Oh wow, that's actually scary. That's actually scary. And then at the 3 out of 3 limit break, becomes 150% overflow, moderate brave damage up, and increases brave by 10% of HP damage dealt by air superiority, and unlocks boost lance plus and high boost lance plus. So I was kind of right to a lesser extent with the 3 out of 3 in my Google Doc, where she gained back 10% of her damage dealt at as brave, and that in my Google Doc made it so like she jumps to the front of the chase sequence with 3 turns of chase before the teammates go. Um, in a sense, I am both happy and sad they didn't do this, because at least I was able to get some of this right myself, just off of pure speculation. Um, I am slightly upset that despite being named Air Superiority, Aranea doesn't launch with it, or has like some type of really nice follow up with it immediately after the EX. Granted, the high speed maneuver makes it so she gets a free consecutive turn. Um, I personally just wish it launched, because the name itself, and a lot of my friends on Discord were talking about that. It was near guaranteed to have a launch capability. At this point, I'm assuming that we're not getting her launch abilities until she releases during the LDC80 era, during Lufenia stages. Um, at this point, we have like a 80-70% full powered Aranea, only due to the fact that we're missing her LD, we're missing her character boards, and we're missing her Crystal 80 when she debuts in the JP version, which you can bet your asses on that I'm going to basically go ahead and pull for her in JP as well. Um, and her bonus spear, when inflicting break, 2% eye brave, 2% and max brave increase up to 5 times. This is amazing, both on herself and Lightning when she comes up in global. Um, Lightning has basically the same re-break mechanic as Aranea. Lightning has less skill usage than Aranea, but she does get free skill usage off of the EX, and her C65 resets a target's break status, which, I mean, hey, that's pretty good also. The one gripe I have with this entire EX is two, actually. One, again, it doesn't launch, despite the name being Air Superiority. Two, or B in this case, I kind of wish they refreshed her skill count by 1 for each. Um, that's my personal wish for it, because it would at least allow her a lot more longevity on top of the HP, effective HP plus and plus plus that she's going to get from her 3 out of 3. It's mainly because Vayne has a similar concept to this as well, with his kick and kick plus. Yeah, so she easily reminds me of Vayne, Lightning, reminds me of Leo coming up in JP, reminds me of Jacked with the free turn as well. And she slightly reminds me of Garland due to 665. Like, very well done regardless. Regardless of all I just said, like the gripes I have. Very well done. I really liked her EX plus. I really like her kit as a whole. We're gonna go ahead and look at her we're gonna go ahead and look at her High Boost Lance Plus, which is effectively her HP plus plus. It's a 3-hit AoE Brave into single target HP attack that has 120% overflow during overclock and requires an EX to be 3 out of 3. When inflicting break or attacking an enemy afflicted with break, splash damage increases to 50%. This is great. A lot more splash damage is very, very welcome. And because you're doing this during overclock, that 120% overflow is actually 150% overflow. And I forgot to mention also for her air superiority, that when it's 3 out of 3 goes to 150% overflow. It's 180% overflow with overclock active, while also extending her overclock buff by 2 turns. It's really good. Like, her kit is essentially 210%, 180%. If we're going by these, Boost Lance Plus, 130% overflow. High Boost Lance Plus, 150% overflow with 50% splash. Dragoon Dive Plus is 210% overflow. High Wind Plus is 180% overflow. And Air Superiority is 180% overflow. High Wind is basically 80% splash damage on the plus variant, and Air Superiority is 100% AoE no matter what. Her kit is amazing. Holy crap. And then High Boost Lance increases her Brave by 20% of her max Brave before inflicting a 5-hit ranged Brave ranged attack. That also has a higher turn rate than her regular Boost Lance. So, assuming you have like all her speed passes equipped and things of that nature, Boost Lance Plus can essentially skyrocket you to the front of the line and potentially give you that 210% overflow for Dragoon Dive Plus that you may have missed without doing this, or without a battery. It's very strong. I like it. It's 100. What it basically says in between the lines is that it's 130% overflow due to the overclock ability, or overclock buff in this case, which, hey, I like it. Now we're looking at 3 out of 3 air superiority. 150% overflow, increasing her Brave by 10% of the HP damage dealt. It's good in the sense where she may not get instantly broken by an enemy. Although I kind of wish it was 20% of HP or 30% HP damage dealt as cashback. Mainly because in Chaos, if you're hitting for, in this dev build, 180% of 27,000 is about 51k. You're getting 5100 Brave back. To be frank about it, you're really only gonna survive one Brave attack before the boss either breaks you or another enemy breaks you, and then you get nuked by an HB attack. So I was kind of hoping it'd be 20-30% HP damage dealt, but that could potentially change with character boards and even her LD and Crystal 80 in the future. So we'll see what the JP version has for that. And don't really need to go to Air Superiority Plus, but we'll go ahead and go into that anyway. Same thing. 150% overflow. 10% HP damage dealt. Uh, goes back to her as Brave Cashback. And extends her overclock by 2 turns. Very good. Again, it's very good, and it's actually 180% overflow again because due to the overclock, due to the plus version requiring overclock to be active. So it's very strong. Very strong, don't get me wrong. And also we have to take into account that she doesn't have her summon board passives. She doesn't have artifacts. We're dealing with her not being synergy. Although I would prefer her not being synergy because this would make it so that she can essentially we can actually get a good idea of after summon boards and her artifacts where her capability could actually be for FEOD, things of that nature, which is very good. I like how they're showing non-boosted character in play. Of course, this is a dev build footage, so this is always subject to change. Personally, I hope that the community gives a little bit enough of a rile or complaint to where they can change the air superiority animation at the very least. And that's a gripe that a lot of people are having. High wind and air superiority are essentially the same animation, just different angles and different motions. Truth be told, I'm a little disappointed by this also, but I mean that's really just a minor gripe amongst everything else. Yeah, Aranea, as 40 said in his video and Lids, is busted. She can easily contend with the LD era in her current state in the global release. That says a lot, considering that LDs give you an insane third buff for the most part. They give you insane overflow. They give you insane brave potencies, insane effects. She might be a hair under Kuja's LD prowess in her current global state. So, yikes, that's very powerful. Yeah. What's my opinion on her? Yes, again, busted, very strong, well done Square Enix for crafting Aranea to be this good in general. And yes, I highly recommend you pull on this. Very, very, very worth your gems. I have heard recently that the Aranea banner could potentially have 2 dead units on the banner with only 1535 ICP, which please Square Enix do not let this be the case. At the very least, rerun an EX, if not give us an extra EX plus on top of Aranea, or rerun an EX plus. For the love of God, please. Please do not cuck the Aranea banner. Please. I am begging you. Do not make it so Aranea is the only unit worthwhile pulling on that banner. Make it so that, like, put Noctis on the banner with her. Just story and lore-wise, it makes sense. Even if you don't give him an early EX+, at the very least, put his EX in that banner. So everybody at least has a second unit to be hyped up about in his near future. That's all I really have to say about this. It's a bit shorter than... Ooh, my bad, guys. A bit shorter than the first video. Yeah, I personally like Aranea. You are going to see me pity her tonight in my video. If I can somehow figure out how to stream with my recording app and still able to get this pole battle recorded and all of that nature. Oh yeah, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. But if I can't get the stream up, then at the very least I will get the pole battle up with my friend Cater on the Discord. Definitely need to get my laptop up and running for that so I can pull him up on the Discord and get the and get this game up and running on 7 p.m. Mountain Time, and we're gonna have lots and lots of fun. All right, guys, this is Kerubin signing out. Peace.